I think, therefore I am. I think, beyond feel, that I have pretty much shared, a lot of my life here in talking to angels. And when in Rome, when the moment presents, I continue to delight in my own further learnings of what I have considered living a life with heaven on earth. I've had my venues myself of, I always loved God as a little girl. I used to write God notes and tape them to tree trunks because I thought God could see them better from the skies. And I always believed in angels, but I never really, this is a hard one, because I never really thought I was talking to angels, and I wasn't talking to anyone except for myself when I did talk to myself out loud. It's been a really big journey of my life, and it does take hindsight of all life to come to those moments where you go, oh God, thank you, and yet this is what this message is about today, because I am overjoyed, not overwhelmed, never overwhelmed. I was born to be a cup overfloweth, okay? I am overjoyed with my own personal discoveries of how I feel heaven loves life. And that, heaven is never here for one only, and yet heaven will answer one. Heaven is about mass, et al., life itself. And, okay, you could hear my flock. I've shared before in my angel messages that my flock does feel. First of all, let me stop. Today is Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2026. This is very important to heaven for all of my messages that I deliver that are from heaven. And today is my first day of really, heaven promotes us in life. And I can be taken from others in life sharing this right now going, this girl's like literally, what in the world? Exactly. Well, I am in this world. And yet I say, feel, think the same things. What in the world? Heaven's not in this world, and yet heaven is this world. Heaven is everywhere. And what I just came to, never just, a realization today is, for me, heaven has had me on this, my 50-some years of life journey of discovering life. And then, in my mid-20s or so, heaven kind of came in a little bit more and was like, okay, you're ready to kind of move forward. Let's do this and that with you. And then in my 30s, that's when I began to start sharing angel messages. And back then I called them spirit messages because why? The universe at that time was accepting of the word spirit, not angel. Fast forward into my 40s when I began to clean headstones. Where did that come from, right? I didn't just wake up one day and decide to go clean headstones. I assure you, these are the ways we are compassed and led by heaven. All of us. And this is why heaven has me share and why I delight in sharing with life. Because when we do allow God, heaven, God et al., God, Jesus, and spirit of angels to encompass, be the pilot of our life, and we do the hands out, palms up, all of that, it's about discovering our own journey with heaven. My journey with heaven is not something that can be scripted, clearly. It is each to their own. And yet, the message is the same for everyone. And this is what I learned today. It's not all about angel messages. And that's where today, in picking up these 4 baby chicks, my first ever miniature chickens, baby bantam chicks that a friend of mine asked me many months ago, back in November. Do you want to order some of these baby bantams, Natalie, with me? We're going to order them from the mail. And I was like, sure. I knew right then when I said sure that I wasn't really thinking, and that was a response that came from my soul, not my mind. Sure. Well, how many do you want? I don't know, 2? don't you want a little more? Okay, 4, but 4 is the limit. I can only do 4. This week, I alone as Natalie have, at first I was saying I'm being divinely bombarded by angels this week with just all these messages coming through. And I mean, I deliver, because if I don't deliver these messages, well, these angels, these spirits, this heaven at all is going to remain, lingering, hovering, twinkling into my being until these messages are delivered. And it's not entirely up to me at all. That is where I go, okay, all right, I just realized today that I've been sharing for the past year, 2 years, that every angel message delivered to life is meant to be shared with life. And then I further began in the past couple of years of my life to realize, oh my God, every angel message I deliver to someone in life is also a message for me. Like me? And then I further discovered, the list goes on and on and on. It is endless, and that's what heaven is eternal. It is endless. We're not meant to comprehend heaven here on earth. We're not meant to know more about anything. We're meant to know how to figure out how to really tap into our soul so that we can begin churning our entire being, mind, body, and soul, all 3 of our heaven-born, given entities of our existence. Mind, body, and soul. Heaven has 3 entities: God, Jesus, and Spirit. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not here to preach, I'm not here to prophesize, I'm not here talking religion, or anything like that. And yet, like that, I mean, this is heaven. And it's awesome, and it is amazing. And today I further learned that every angel message, and this takes my hindsight to go back to all these years of my life, delivering messages. I never forget a message, and yet I never have to think about a message because my soul remembers it. Riddle me that, right? That took me forever to even be like, I can't even say that out loud. People think I'm crazy. Well, welcome to my world, which is your world, everybody's world, heaven's world. Every angel message is from heaven, from God, from Jesus, and from Spirit, from angels. Wow. For me, I feel wow. I mean, these aren't things you can learn necessarily in a school of divine teachings, and yet I'm in the life of divine teachings with heaven on earth. And this has been my role, my purpose, that I was born to be in this role of sharing with life, that heaven is real, and heaven is meant to be on earth as is. I had ordered 4 baby chicks, and they arrived today. They were born on Sunday, shipped on Monday, and arrived today, Wednesday. What a journey, these little chicks, And I think there was 12 total that we had ordered between me and my friend. And she picked them up from the post office. This is all new to me. I'd never ordered mail order chicks before. Mail order brides, I've heard of. And she said that a couple of them had died en route while they were being shipped here. And when I arrived at her home today to pick up the 4, she said, I think one of yours is one of the ones that died. Because we were able to pick out which type. I got like 3 different types of bantam hens. I don't even know about bantam hens. And yet this is my joy, because I've now been welcomed into a whole new adventure today of further learning and knowledge about life, about hope, and about death. She said, you could take one of my chicks because you wanted 4. And I said, no, don't you see? How do I say this? I wouldn't have ever ordered any had you not entered my life. And you would have not entered my life had Dr. Ticer at the veterinary hospital not told you to come to me when she was out of town for your bantam hen ghost. My first ever, that little girl ghost. Egg-bound, crooked egg. It's full circle. How we, and it's not just for me. This is not me going, look at the ways you were delivered to me. I'm a lucky person. I'm talking about everything. How it has, yes, benefited in some way, shape, or form in beautiful ways other people beyond me, and yet the same moment. Like this past week, I became aware for the first time of receiving a single message from two angels for two separate daughters here in life. I was like, what? And heaven's like, no, feel it. I have come to learn that once I feel it, heaven doesn't just hand out promotions every day to anyone, and yet heaven does hand out promotions every day to everyone. So long as we continue being curious and seeking, to understand things. I arrived, I said, I just want 3. Literally, I didn't want any, okay? And then I said I'd take 2, and then I said 4. I said just this morning, I was actually saying to myself in my head, oh God, I really should have just got 3. I said, this is my piece. Just the 3, I don't need 4, okay? Well, when I arrived, another one was dying. I mean dying. And I just picked it right up and I said, she said, take it. I said, yeah, I'm just gonna. So I drove home on these windy country roads, 20 minutes, with this baby chick in my hand here. And I had Andy and Janet, my frizzle and silky hen, and then the baby chicks in their box, It wasn't a wild ride. It was a beautiful moment for me to be driving down such country roads that were unfamiliar to me, leading me to a space and place where I was able to welcome new life. And as I drove home, I thought, it's okay. You're gonna die, in my hand, and that's beautiful. Well, I got home and I gave what I do, the electrolytes and all of that, and this one is perked up. This doesn't mean I saved this bird or that it's going to survive. I don't know. It really is touch and go with all new life. Newborn babies, newborn any animal, newborn any life is fragile. And we remain fragile all of our lives. There is no irony in this, that when I returned home, but wait, how did I come home with 4? When I know I ordered 4, but then we agreed because they died and, this or that, and yet I still came home with 4. I decided to name this one little chick a classic name of Hope. And that is what I shared with my friend as I left her home today. With this chick in my hand, I said, listen, hope goes beyond hope for survival. Hope envelops everything. We should all have hope. Hope for a comfortable journey home, first of all. Let's start with that. Hope for this warm hand up against my chest. Hearing my voice talk all the way home. These are the moments that new life does bond with. Voices. And it's not voices in their head. Come on, people. Can we get past that with Natalie? Natalie is not mentally ill. I assure you. I find this I find it beautiful. And so here I've been all these years now delivering angel messages that began as spirit messages, that began as don't you dare share anything, that began as what is going on, that began as I love God. I didn't know Jesus until I was 48 years old, and that's a whole other story too. I wasn't seeking Jesus. And I was one of the ones in this life that whenever I'd leave somewhere or anybody in my life would say to me, you know, is Jesus in your soul? I'd be like, yes, 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 woo, amen, you know, and then I'd walk away and be like, I mean, I know I love Jesus because, like, I mean, we have to love Jesus, right? If we want to be loved by heaven. Those were my thoughts until I was 48 years old. And I met Jesus and I was like, whoa, whoa. And it's been the past many years of my life since then that have had me on this journey to further discovery every day. Someone like me does do best with a life of solitude because I do feel it all. And so this is why it was difficult for me in my life to be in large venues like malls, restaurants, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld. Oh my God, I can go to the beach, no problem. I can, you know, we are a big world, a big, big world. And I feel very good about sharing the goodness that I feel. And it's not that I don't see how anybody could think I was mentally ill. It's that I don't think about that anymore because I know I'm not, you know? Every day is a new day. We're all supposed to have hope for today. And don't ever let anybody steal your joy. Don't ever let anybody tell you that what you think is stupid or that you're sick. In God, Jesus, and Spirit's name, amen.